Hi, welcome to Danette Gets Creative. I'm Danette. Here we are back with the fall tree. Last week we put down all of the wool to create the trunk and the branches. And this week I want to work on the fall section. So what I've pulled out is some orange fabric, some rusty red fabrics, different patterns, different shades. I've drawn a couple of leaves here just to show you that I'm going to do some different sizes of leaves. I'm going to cut them out so that I can have a variety of sizes. And I'm just placing them on the white paper just for you to be able to see them easier and just a way for me to be able to keep them all together. I continued on cutting leaves. I didn't hand draw them anymore. So if you're comfortable just going in and cutting freehanded, go for it. Or if you're not that comfortable doing that, then continue to draw them and cut them out. So I'm going to use a variety of shades. And then I'll show you what I do with these. So a couple more cuts here, just to give you a variety of sizes and colors. And then we're going to lay down these leaves. I really had no idea going into this video what I was going to do, but I knew that I wanted to have leaves. So the first thing I did was cut out some. Now I'm showing you in this video a couple of options. This one was really tricky and I'm not really sure why I thought it would be a good idea, but I'm trying to embroider the veins and the lines that go down the center of the leaf on that tiny little leaf right there in my hand. And you can see that it's a bit of a struggle. And I was kind of frustrated doing it. But I persevered and got it done. But you will see as I progress through the video, I don't do this again. This was by far the harder of the two choices, which I'm going to show you here. So I took this one, stitched those veins on it. Looks great, but not my best plan. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch it down to the canvas on one of the branches. And I just tack it into place. Again, I'm having a little bit of trouble because that little bit of wood that goes around the edges is right here in this spot. But I wiggle through it. Here's the easier choice. I actually sew down the leaf and the veins and stem of the leaf all at the same time. And I was much happier with this result. One, it was easier. It was not as difficult as trying to stitch down the veins on that teeny tiny stem, or on that teeny tiny leaf. But for this one, it actually holds the leaf in place better. The one that I put on first is only just tagged on at the bottom, and I actually don't like how it's floppy. So I'm kind of glad that I tried this second method of stitching down the center vein and the extra little lines right on the canvas. So it's kind of multi-purposed. It makes the design, plus it holds the leaf in place. So this is definitely not going to be a quick project to get these leaves down. It is going to be a bit of a time-consuming thing, but the end result is pretty cool. You'll see at the end, I have a little picture at the end that'll show you the finished product. I do want to apologize because of me going in and out and showing you, and the canvas is kind of big. I do have a couple of spots in the video that are blurry. I do try my best to stay on top of the blurriness, but there is a couple of sections like this one right now that it's blurry. I do clue in and tap it and try to get it back in focus. So I apologize in advance for the couple of little blurry spots, but it happens, right? So here I am sewing down a couple of more leaves. The difference with these ones is what I've done is I've put two of them together, so I kind of made a little cluster. Going down the center again with that main vein and adding those little offshoots. I do the same with the one on the side. It's a really good way to secure down the leaves. I guess the good thing about fall is you don't have to have that many leaves because the leaves are starting to fall from the tree, right? I think coming to the summer part, I'm going to wish that there wasn't as many leaves because I'm sure it'll be quite a few leaves. So now what I want to do is I want to add some additional embellishments, some texture, and I'm just using these glass beads. What you didn't see in the video, and what I didn't record in this part of the video, but you can see that there's some gold French knots. And again, it was another way to create texture. So I didn't film that part, but at the end you will see me doing a few French knots. So I'm just adding these tiny seed beads, and then I use some of the bigger ones. Again, just to maybe imitate some of the nuts or pine cones or things that you might see on a tree. I just thought it was fun. I thought it was a neat way to add a little texture and sparkle to it. So I add a few. I'm adding a medium-sized one now. And with the medium-sized bead, I actually go through it once and I go through it a second time just to make sure it's secured in place. And then I'll finish off here with one of the bigger kind of matte beads. Put it on, put an extra stitch through it so that it doesn't come undone. So in the clusters on the tree, I put the leaves, I put the small beads, the medium beads, and the bigger matte beads, as well as the French knots. I think it's just a fun way to add interest to the tree itself. Totally fun project. Like I said at the beginning, I had no idea where I was going with this. But as I started, things just started to come to my mind, and I reached in and grabbed the beads, and here we are. Again, sorry for some of the blurriness, but there it is up close. I'm going to go off camera, put some more leaves, put some more beads, and I'll come back and show you. And here we are. I'm doing some French knots. I've laid down all the actual fabric leaves, sewn them down. And now I'm going back in and doing these little French knots. And then I'll finish up with the beads. And I thought it would be fun to make one of the leaves falling from the tree. So not actually attached to the tree, but kind of in that bottom white space there. Just as a way to show that some leaves would be falling off the trees. So I'm going to finish up with the French knots. And then the beads. And the fall tree is done. Hope you enjoyed watching this. And stay tuned next episode where I'm going to lay down the green leaves. Thanks for watching. Bye.